I have no fucking. I've never heard of this movie.
I've heard of this guy.
No idea what to expect, and this movie is charming and weird and creative and clever and funny as fuck. And as it felt like it got better every minute.
Yeah.
Right. The weirder it got.
The weirder it got, the funnier it got.
Yes.
And I think we've talked often about movies that are almost critic proof. I don't even know how to. I don't know what to say about this thing other than I enjoy the shit out of it.
I'm so glad.
One thing about watching this
stuff, his ruminating over his life reminded me a lot of the McKelvey flick, Sherman's March.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's making a documentary. He kind of turns the camera on himself.
Yeah.
Like he manages to combine talking about Winnipeg and talking about himself pretty cleverly.
Yeah, he really does. That's well put.
You know what? Also, he just lies too. He makes stuff up all over.
There's nothing in this movie that is true.
There's almost nothing in this film that's
and
true.
And the thing is,
there are multiple things in this movie that are true.
Uh-huh. They weren't pissed with them, which is also interesting about
who was not pissed with him, Jim?
The city of Winnipeg.
The people of Winnipeg.
They must love this. They made a statue of this guy, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I mean, guys.
Okay.
I know.
I mean, I don't know if those horses were real or those are props or not, but that was.
I didn't have time to research it, but that is an amazing image.
They were not real.
The craziest.
They didn't look real.
Entire crazy movie.
There's so much, the horse heads, all the hockey shit.
Wait, hold on.
Come on, man. The whole thing, he staged all those. He got all those guys in hockey gear and staged the game with like the rear screen of the stadium behind him and shit. Fucking amazing.
Hold on, let me get back. Okay, there's a fire. The horses got into the river. They froze, and then people hung out with the horse heads, and there was a huge baby boom afterwards.
Yeah, let's drive it. Yeah.
This is nuts.
It's completely bonkers. It really.
Honey, let's drive out and see the horse heads.
Yeah, I know. It's like, and it's completely plausible. It's like, yeah, that's what people would do, I guess. In Winnipeg.
I think he's just sort of assuming that Winnipeg is maybe 8th on the list of Canadian cities you've heard of.
You know, it's the 6th biggest city in Canada. It's about the size of San Francisco.
Sure,
Okay.
but we've all it's Toronto, Vancouver.
It's no Calgary, eh?
Oh yeah, well, it's no Calgary, that's for sure.
I mean, do they have a hockey team in the NHL?
Well, there's a whole section in the film about that.
Right, but I mean, but again, if I remember, assuming everything in the movie is a lie.
The Winnipeg
actually have a hockey team in the NHL.
The Winnipeg Maroons, the Winnipeg Maroons that he brings up are fake. However, the Winnipeg Jets are real.
Okay, so there is a real.
Are they NHL?
They were.
Okay.
No, they are again. The Atlanta Thrashers moved to Winnipeg in 2011, 4 years after this movie came out.
Oh, so they have a team again.
Okay. They were the Winnipeg Jets up until 1996, and then they became the Phoenix Coyotes, who now are playing in a college stadium because they have the worst ownership in professional sports.
Probably.
And in 2011, the Atlanta Thrashers moved to Winnipeg and became the Winnipeg Jets again.
That's great.
And they have the coolest logo in maybe all of sports.
Oh, okay.
It's a big circle. Moment. It's a big circle with a maple leaf on it and a fucking fighter jet. Because Winnipeg is where the Canadian Air Force is based out of.
Well, the thing is, it's all been this. NHL's been a story about Americans luring away teams and just de-Canadianizing the entire sport. So I'm glad to hear one coming back. That's nice.
I have to disagree with you. The Winnipeg Maroons were a senior ice hockey team based in Winnipeg, Manitoba. And
they're
the director's father actually owned them or ran them for a while.
When?
Wow. Probably a while ago.
Because I went and looked, and
like 64.
They never played at the Winnipeg Arena, which was a real place as well.
Just saying. Being earnest is not enough.
But the Jets were there at that time. It was in the 60s.
Anyway.
I also want there are some things that are done with.
No, we're gonna have deep hockey talk. Fuck off.
That's turning out a Ray Ratto episode, man. That's what's going on here.
Exactly.
I want Ray Ratto to come on this show.
Editing
Like, you have no idea how much I want Ray Ratto on this
the
show.
editing in this movie is fucking great. I don't know what
Isn't his daughter
or a documentary this guy looked at to try to make his movie look like, but I want to see more of that. The silhouette stuff, like the thing behind me, the title cards that are there and then they're not there, and
sometimes out of focus.
And they're all out of focus.
Yeah,
all the title cards.
So, it feels like something that was pulled out of a garbage disposal, but I know that someone really.
Oh yes, it's a labor of love.
If you watch the end credits, there's like 1,000 people worked on
this is not a low budget film. This film,
were those
a
people
lot of
real?
effort put into it.
Yeah, maybe they weren't real. Okay.
Yeah.
Clearly a lot of effort, Scott. I don't know that a lot of money was spent.
Well, okay, Canadian dollars are worth
half a million US.
How much?
Half a million
budget.
Well, I mean, I
pretty good.
That's considerable. If you think
Yeah.
of it.
For 2007, that's close to 600,000.
There's like a lot of stuff where it's
That's
like
what we're trying to raise right now.
high camera or something, and he's like actually in Winnipeg. Like it was interesting the way that like 2006 era footage would sort of like pop up every once in a while, and the rest of the time, I don't know what he's shooting this and then just processing the hell out of it to get it to look really old, or this is Getty images.
I think it's a combination
Like,
of there's 16 and 8mm in there and some video mushed together. There's a lot of that going on here. There's
a lot of weird rear projection stuff.
Yeah.
Rear and front projection sometimes too. It looked like I wasn't sure, but like I mean that the DIY-ness of it is what I just loved so much. It's like, okay, so I don't have money to build a train car set, so I'm just going to put my actors in front of a table and then project moving footage. And scenery going past.
Table and they're going to pretend
obviously fake, but that makes it even better.
Yeah.
There's a bit where also I love the narration language. Like it's very poetic. He repeats and repeats.
Yeah,
extremely poetic.
And just kind of moves through various verbal modes.
At my house, Sheila said, "I'm going to punch you every time he says Winnipeg," and she did.
He had to, because it's like it's.
How's your arm feel now?
Yeah.
Well, she's from Chicago.
There's a point in the middle of the film where he was talking about moving back to his childhood home, and it's all played back,
which he does.
And the woman who owned the place refused to leave, just sitting in a chair and doesn't go. That was great. And so I'm watching this. I think that any filmmaker here, you could have done, My Santa Rosa. It would have had the same feel. You know what I mean? It's like this is like anybody could have made this film.
It reminded me a lot of John's Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's the Krootmobile.
If you hadn't brought it up, Jim, I would have, because I really felt a kinship to that.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought about it the whole time.
I wrote down a short list. I said Georges Méliès.
Yeah.
In that it's just whatever I need to do to get the image I want on the screen, and George used a lot of paper cutouts and stuff, flats, and he's using a lot of rear projection and stuff, but I mean, it's the same. Oh my God, this fucking great.
Right.
So Georges Méliès, who else?
The Coen brothers.
The Coen brothers, in a way. Corey Maccabee, if you guys are familiar with the American Astronaut.
No.
In a way. Corey Maccabee and even Don Hertzfeld in his own way. It's like, I'm going to make a huge science fiction movie, but I'm going to do it with stick figures because that's what I can do.
Yeah, or Alphaville, where
Alphaville, yeah, there you go.
Fuck, right.
How about Hellboy 2? Remember the beginning of Hellboy 2?
No, I didn't see it.
No.
When he's telling the story and they do all of the animation, and the animation's all like primary colors.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's what they do with the strike, and that's what they do with the horses and all that. Like
it's cutout animation. It's kind of like that South Indonesian type of shadow play kind of thing.
Yeah.
I want to see that guy on the ledge though. That's a fascinating show. I want to see it's available.
The guy on the ledge.
Whatever it's called.
Number one show in Winnipeg.
I love that it was
No, it's not the number one show in Winnipeg. It's the only show made in Winnipeg.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I feel like it's kind of like maybe because I just watched it too, but it's pretty much their version of "ouch my balls."
Well, yeah, except it's
Yes.
Canadian, and you just have to think about like death and like jumping off.
Or it's Terrence and Phillip.
There you go.
It is.
God bless Terrence and Phillip. It's very
Asses of fire.
there's there's something I consider to be kind of a Canadian way of looking at things, and you can hear it in a lot of music like Rush and like that kind of thing, but it's not here. I know that's what the Rush is for, yes, but it's not here. This
Just wait
is
for my
really
Canadian.
this is really unique. This is beyond kind of a national identity. He doesn't have that weird inferiority complex with Americans like a lot
I
of.
can't tell if he's making fun of Winnipeg or praising Winnipeg.
He is.
Both.
He loves the place, but he hates the
I
place.
think he loves the
But I
place
think-
and hates it too.
He also, I think, identifies with his.
Every
think
person,
about
every
Sonoma.
person I've ever met from Winnipeg hates it to the core of their being.
I think
I think he
and
loves
remember,
himself too
your
much.
mind.
Winnipeg is not
Yes.
the East Coast or the West Coast. Winnipeg is like just
It is the
North of-
geographical center of the continent.
in the middle. It's
Yeah,
like
they're
north
behind
of,
you. It's
what's
the
the place
cold,
called?
cold heart of the United States.
North Dakota.
America.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cold,
Yep.
and miserable.
The nearest beach is Hudson Bay. Jeez.
It's also the nearest
But I felt like this
Mall.
movie just kept building and getting weirder and more crazy, and then like the weird like detours it would take with the whole stripper thing, and like it was just and then it would come back and sort of pick up sort of where it left off, and for the entire time he's just sort of got that monotone.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I like the fact that he's 100% into it. There's no
yeah.
Oh, he's
there's
not
no
holding back.
pussyfooting around. He wanted to make this movie and he made it.
Yes.
They
Well, mind
keep
you-
cutting back to the guy on the train, asleep on the train, like sort of like nodding in and out on the train. And that visual never really gets closure, does it?
And also,
Yeah.
it wasn't
It's not
him. It
stop
wasn't him
and
either.
get off the train or
No, it doesn't. No.
No.
Well, it's him trying to get out of.
And also, it's
Manitoba.
not him. It's
Right.
an actor playing him.
right.
Right.
Talking about the
It's not him either, right?
Plus, I love how it opens with Savage there being told how to act.
yeah, I know. And then
Yes. Yeah. The takes, the multiple. He's reading lines to her.
Right.
literally.
Yeah.
speeding him in
And then
there.
you do get those lines later on in the
Yeah.
movie.
You do.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. They
And
did
she's terrible at them.
They did this bit about all the proud prostitutes of Winnipeg. They name all the streets after.
All
The thing
the
is,
back streets.
yeah, but weirdly, and the backstreet part was great because
Yeah.
alleyway thing. But the thing is, there are streets all over San Francisco named after hookers. Everywhere. Every alleyway downtown is named after madams of Broadway.
Like Minna.
Minna
Oh,
Street.
like-
Yeah, it
like-
goes on and on.
Ah.
Like Jesse Street. That's a
Jesse
hooker?
Street. Yeah, there's a ton of them.
I love that.
But
That's
they were
great.
named by sentimental city planning managers back in that turn of the last.
So
Oh,
these guys were like banging these hookers, and they were like, "We're gonna name this street after her."
Well, why not? How about a freebie?
Why not?
Okay. They got a street name.
Hey, baby, I named a street after you.
Well, that actually ran rather true, actually. But the back alley thing is great because the whole like second circulatory system of the thing.
Yeah.
You get everywhere through
One
the
half
back
the
roads.
cabbies get the main streets, the other half the cabbies get the other streets.
That was probably true too. I felt.
Who knows?
Who
Yeah.
could say?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's great because you guys are just bringing up all these different parts of the movie that I had forgotten. Now I'm laughing at them again.
There were so many like
the
one-line-
fucking the seance. Ectoplasm.
That ectoplasm coming out of there everywhere.
Ah!
That was a big thing back then. Like,
Yeah, it was a big deal during seance time.
Exactly.
there's a lot of one-liners in this movie that are fucking gold.
Yeah, they are. I
The-
can't
the-
think of
what was the one I put in the chat about like demolition's one of the few growth industries. in
Yes.
Winnipeg?
But you know where you can see this in any town. Talking about the tearing down the department stores and like that.
Yeah.
You get everywhere. It's kind of
Santa Rosa.
Santa Rosa, like I said.
Santa Rosa is Santa Rosa. The history of Santa Rosa is a series of terrible blunders and architectural
Well,
atrocities.
that fucking mall.
Yeah, at the
I
Cottingtown
never
Mall.
forget.
They tore the heart out of
Yeah.
downtown Santa Rosa, but
The
they
courthouse square, the old library, the California Theater.
after the earthquake, they took the Cooper House down in Santa Cruz. Now everyone loved that
I
place.
remember that.
No good reason. And you can go on and on. But
Yeah.
But it was a heck of a movie. It was just really interesting.
Who's
Do
seen
you-
any of his movies? The Saddest Song in the World, and like who's
He's
seen?
he's
Oh,
got
yeah,
a
well,
big.
but
This is my first. This is my first. I was been curious about the guy for a while. Been reading, articles here and there, and I thought it would be something that I would like, and I was thankfully very proven right in this case.
Yeah, I've read it. I've read about him. I've heard about him. You guys remember when we did I Saw the Devil?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And John was like, I turned it off.
And that was
I turned
how
this
he
off.
felt.
I turned
you
this
turned
off.
you turned this off.
I turned this off about 20 minutes in.
Oh,
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. That's well
Chris
earned.
is quick on the button there. Well, you missed a lot of good stuff, man. Maybe you should have stuck with it.
I didn't like it at all.
Funny, I can see you making it.
Explain yourself.
Uh,
I don't know. I hated the sound of his voice. What you guys call poetry, I thought was pathetic. I don't know. I was like, I found it narcissistic, self-indulgent.
well, that's what
yeah.
you're right,
Like,
but there's a point to it. That's
maybe it's just not my style. It's just not my cup of tea.
okay.
It's
I
not
can
my
dig
cup of
that.
tea.
Fair enough.
Uh-huh.
And
But I
what
like
did you find
Groupmobile,
bad
and I
about
think
it,
that if
Dad?
on a short, like if this was a 8-minute movie, great.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
it's-
my
I
friend,
don't know.
I talked to David about this. My guy in the band. He said, "See the Dracula one he did, Dracula Pages from a Virgin's Diary." That's what a guy, that's a Maddin film, and that was silent. This is a silent film,
Oh yeah.
and said it's really good. So we recommend that one
Yeah.
too.
I
I
just-
haven't seen it. So this is my first Maddin.
Immediately
That's
from like frame one, this just guy rubs me the wrong way, and I just think he's full of himself. I don't like it.
Well, it's interesting. First of all, that's not illegitimate, but there's also it is narcissistic. This guy is talking about himself, and in fact, it gets so bad. He's talking about his mother and his
Anyone can make a movie about their fucking hometown. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just,
but not this cleverly as this one.
'Cause-
That's-
maybe better.
If you start with it, my assumption is that it's 90% horseshit, and it's flights of fancy and whatever. Yeah, if it was just a guy talking about growing up in Winnipeg, as it actually happened, that will be one thing. But that's not what I think this is, because as far as I can tell, none of this happened, or very little.
Yeah.
nothing happened. No, this is a documentary about a life that was
Like he makes
really-
Winnipeg
I
sound
think
way
his
more
brother
interesting than it
did
probably is.
I can't believe that he actually got
Yeah.
actors to do the movie.
$500,000. They'll do
I
it.
think Jared, if you had stuck with it, you would have seen it improve, because I kind of agree with you that the first maybe 10 minutes, which is kind of a lot of the repetitive poetry and a lot of shots of the guy on the train.
Also, I'm sorry, if you want to leave your town, just fucking leave your fucking town, dude. Just like move.
Oh man,
Well, you don't have to.
you
Just-
never tried to leave.
Just fucking move. Yes, no, I grew up in a
left,
shitty
came
town and I
back.
just fucking left.
Well, the thing is about this one, and I'll agree with Jared. At least we
Well, I won't argue with you
I
there.
went to film school, and the thing is, this reminds me of a lot of things you had to endure in film school.
Yeah, like people who are so
But-
into themselves,
but
they're
the
all,
first-
I'm
but the-
making art out of my life. And
But
you're
the thing
like,
is,
your
like,
life sucks, first
so
of all, and it's
in
not
the first
art.
10,
It's
15
just
minutes,
like-
I felt that weird self-indulgence
Same
when
people
you're
who
watching
love
somebody making
somebody's life.
Which I see, I'm watching making a film about themselves, and you're
Well,
like,
I don't know
I've
about
seen
what
this
Tad
crap
put
in
there,
film school, but the thing is, it doesn't. It's too clever for that, because it just takes off.
It transcends that.
It transcends. It goes higher and higher and higher and higher until at the end, you're just breathing pure oxygen at the end of the film.
Now, Scott, you did not like. Let me just check. You did not like Bo Burnham's Inside, correct?
Oh no, I would rather burn off all my fingers than ever see a second of that film
I
ever
like
again.
that.
Oh, see, okay, I love that response. Now, I
Well,
like
Is that
that.
the magician?
Now you could level every criticism that you made of this film, Jared, on that film. It's a one guy in a room talking about himself for 2 hours.
Right.
Right.
So there were
Just
parts of
leave.
Bo.
Good
There
and
were
this
parts of
bad.
Just leave.
no. There were parts of Bo Burnham's movie that I
Open
liked,
the
but there were also
door.
parts where I see
Turn
exactly
the
why Scott hates
camera
it.
off.
No, I see exactly why Scott hates that fucking
Oh,
thing. But I think there were parts that I enjoyed, but also there were parts that I was like, yeah, it's too much. It's
But
It's too much you.
if this
well,
was
it's too much self-awareness. It's like you
This is
trying to be this
literally-
good person, even though, I don't know. It's so cloying at
But
you.
it's-
like,
but
I get you. I get you. I get you.
I get you, but it would be one thing if this is like fucking Garrison Keillor, Lake Wobegon, like literally talking about things that actually happened in that really dry.
yeah.
It's not.
Why the fuck do you
fucking
think those things
bonkers.
actually happened?
What?
Nah.
Why do you
I
think
don't
those
think-
things
I don't-
actually happened?
I don't think anything in this fucking movie happened.
No, I'm talking about Garrison Keillor.
You know what?
I don't
You know-
give it. No, it's
actually,
just. But
it's interesting you bring that up, Chris, because you just drew a
I
parallel.
always
a
assumed
strong
Garrison
parallel.
Keillor
I
was
couldn't
good.
stay with
Lake
it. It was
Wobegon's
just
made
a
up, right? And he just
wrong-
yeah.
is it?
And of course it is. Lake Wobegon.
Oh, I thought it was fucking real.
But no, the
Oh
thing
yeah,
is,
no, that's all made up.
it's all made up.
That's
The thing
how
is,
much I know.
it's a different approach to what Maddin's doing. Maddin is just being like avant-garde and just completely loopy and showing you, right? Garrison Keillor just talks it out.
I'm sure
His
they both.
absurdity is a
sexually
lot
harassed
more
him.
gentle. At the end, he's
I guess I
supposed to.
just
Absurdity was
like.
his absurdity was so gentle. Apparently, I didn't get it.
Yeah,
Right?
well, that's the thing. Oh,
like-
you thought that Lake
And I know
real,
this is
Chris?
not the
Are you
point.
serious?
Enough. Like I gave it like this much of my attention.
Oh my god!
So,
I know
yes.
this is not the
You're-
point
you're
because it's
adorable.
not
Like,
his.
oh god, this is PBS bullshit. Bye.
Like, I'm gonna say this because, but I feel
NPR.
bad already saying
Oh
this
yeah, we're
because I
doing
know
this
it's
now.
not his
Okay. Oh,
art.
yeah, yes, Jared.
It's not his art. But if this guy had written a real screenplay and cast real actors and like made a fucking succinct story and like made just a fucking movie that was good, I might like that better. Now I know that's not
He
what
made
he wanted
exactly
to do.
the thing
and
he wanted to make.
Right.
Pretty
It's
much.
not his art. That's not the way he wants to do it. But
Wow.
I just might have responded to
Yeah,
that a little better.
I like him making his own movie rather than ripping off Spielberg, who's a bad filmmaker.
Or making a dull CDC comedy.
Nobody, you guys don't know what he could make if he did a fucking narrative
He only
He
feature.
tried.
made a ton
If
of
he would
movies.
just
but
try.
He's the only one we've seen.
He's also made a lot of movies.
Has anyone
so-
else seen a Madden film?
No.
No,
This is my
that's the
first.
thing. That's the thing.
Yeah,
my
if
first-
you look
oh.
at his IMDb,
Yeah, he's got a lot of
it goes
shit.
back
A
to
bunch.
the 80s.
Oh yeah, dude. He's obsessed with himself.
Well,
And
and
his
what's
own
wrong with
fucking-
that? Most
Every
people aren't
filmmaker's
obsessed
making
with
films about
themselves.
themselves.
Yeah, but
And the
you
ones
know.
who say they aren't are lying.
Okay, I think we need Tad's corner because he has not said much about this film yet.
Yeah, he hated it. It was too
Well,
long.
he's.
Blah,
I
blah,
know
blah.
Tad and I were on the same page.
It was
until
too
he put
long.
That up.
It was too long.
How is it possible? It's too long. It's 80 minutes long. For God's
I know that was 80 minutes too long.
It was 20 minutes
Yes,
longer than
Tad,
I.
take it.
Angry Dave Barry on mushrooms.
Who?
Okay.
That's I would put that on the poster.
Yeah, I would too. That-
What is
that's
it?
the actual
Citizen
thing.
Kane
Dave Barry on
drunken
mushrooms.
clown movies.
I don't. What did you
Angry Dave Barry on mushrooms.
Angry
That's-
Dave Barry on
That's
mushrooms.
how I felt through the whole thing.
say? Who the fuck is that?
Also, Dave Barry, the famous American shithead. I don't know. He was a guy who
Used to write
a column,
newspaper columns, funny newspaper
I think
columns.
he's
He's like a
still
male
going.
Irma Bombeck.
quote unquote
Yes.
funny.
Yeah, he was the male the guy's Irma Bombeck.
Yes.
That probably doesn't mean anything to you.
Yeah. They're all too young.
Yeah.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
He used the Premiere Edition Volume 1 cop radio, which we've heard 100 billion times.
Right.
And also Kate Yakula is in it, and I like Kate Yakula, and I've been following her career for a long time. She plays Citizen
About
Girl.
Barry now?
Is that this person?
Yeah, Citizen Girl.
Yeah, she's
She
great.
was
She-
in
that's-
she
she's
was
pretty.
in Wishmaster 3. She's been in a bunch of
Oh well, that top quality entertainment. Yeah.
yeah, top quality. Hey man, Wishmaster movies get better as they go on.
Okay.
And
I'll just have to trust
So
you.
the number is a measure of quality.
Yeah.
right. Wishmaster 1 is a 1 out of 10. Wishmaster 2 is a 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
And also I thought it was kind of boring. Like there's some good stuff in it, there's some bad stuff in it, there's some mediocre stuff in it. I really don't understand, like, he sexualizes a lot of stuff, and I don't know where he's coming from
It's an edible complex,
in
obviously.
terms of the sexualization.
It's adult.
No. Jared. All
That's
right,
just
fine,
Winnipeg talking.
Yeah.
no, but like he sexualizes things in very odd ways that like just sort of disconnected me from the movie. Like when in the part where he's talking about the strike, and all of a sudden there's the Marxist standing at the door drinking, and he just gets a giant boner. You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
The
And then
little part I
there's-
did see, he was obsessed with his mom.
and then there's the part where all the boys are around him at the pool, and they're
Oh, yeah.
like, "You have to strip or
yeah,
we'll piss
yeah.
on you." And he starts talking about their like small engorged members, and I'm like, "Where are you going with this, man?" Like, I don't. And then, and also the other part where he talks about like stealing the hockey jersey, and he puts the hockey jersey on, and he's like, "It was sexual, it was against my naked body," and it's like, what?
Oh, and
Like, I don't understand what the sexual politics of this
also
movie
the one thing
are.
they kept going back the whole talking about
those
the
were kind of odd.
every time
Yeah,
we did a
like-
montage
like,
about the
It
force,
wasn't enough
about
to like derail the
river.
movie for me.
Every time we start talking about the river, and then they always showed a crotch. You notice that?
I'm not
Yes.
saying I'm not
The
saying
lap.
The laugh.
his
lap.
mother's crotch specifically.
Yeah,
although
I know.
The
It is-
actress who's playing his mother. Anyway,
No,
You mean like the fat triangle with like a little hair on it?
that's the
Yes.
one.
The, the
Yeah,
the
like-
river, the fork, the something, and the lap.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then the other fork under the fork, which isn't real. But like, so I have to. I want to bring something up. I want to bring something up, which is one of my favorite books. Is the book "The Things They Carried," which is about
me too. That's Tim
which-
O'Connor or
yes, Tim O'Brien.
Tim O'Brien.
Yeah, about
I
the
love
Vietnam
that
War.
book. I love that
And-
book.
And there's a part in
I
the
like that
beginning of
because
that
they
that's
shot
called
it.
How to Tell a True War Story. And his argument in How to Tell a True War Story is it doesn't matter if what you're saying is specifically true, if it makes you feel the way that war is in the kind of book I'm writing, I've succeeded.
Right.
And I feel like this movie plays in that sandbox, but what it never does is what that book does, which is tip its hat to this isn't real. And like, I wish it did. I would like it a little more if it did. And like, I don't hate this movie. I don't like, I'm not angry with it. And as I said earlier, I think he made the movie he wanted to make.
Yeah,
And-
that's very true.
And I can't imagine how hard it was to write this. Like going and trying to like find those different layers and write the construction of it. Like you're trying to build.
Well, it doesn't say
leg-
written by. It says conceived by. and
Actually, you know what?
directed
I'm
by.
going to say the opposite thing. The thing is that the film is very episodic. It's all little stories about the department
It's a lot of
store,
vignettes.
frozen
Yeah.
horses.
Right, but
So
it's
it's
all
easy to- it was easy
constructed.
to
It's
write.
all constructed in a reality. He has created a reality that exists for
It's
this
his
movie.
Winnipeg.
Right. It's
Well,
my
which is-
Winnipeg.
Yeah,
Right.
which is-
And I feel like the most interesting part of this movie is watching all of those Lego pieces come together,
yeah,
which he literally uses Lego pieces at one point in
that's
this
right.
movie. And I just feel like that is really interesting. I just wish I cared about it a little more. Like what he loses for me at some point in it is me wanting to go on this ride with him.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's where I agree with you, Tad.
And
Like-
you just got off the ride earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, like I wanted to go on the ride with him. I wanted to be.
I did too.
Because-
Opening up, I was
because
totally. What do you got?
There's an-
man? Like-
There's an article in, it might be Vulture, that compares this with the At the End of the World movie that Herzog did, because they both came
That's
out
like
around the
4
same
or 5
time.
hours long.
Which
right?
one's that?
Yeah.
What is it, like Stories at the End of the World or something?
No, it's something. Something.
It's something at the end of the world.
Yeah, it
My
compares it.
friend
It
Erling
compares
just
those.
sent me a clip from it.
Criterion
because
did that one too.
Yeah, it
Henry
compares those
Kaiser
two
did the
movies.
soundtrack.
And it's like, I wish he was as good at telling these stories as Herzog is as good as telling those stories.
Well, how many
Like-
people are as good as Herzog? I mean,
Yeah.
that's.
Well, you know, I
Had to have a
think,
Nazi for a father.
you know, once I got,
I mean, Adam Curtis is as good.
Herzog is special.
Adam Curtis is absolutely as good as him and tells the same kind of stories in a very interesting way. But I haven't seen anything else this guy's done, and it could all be great from here on out. I have
He's
no
got a ton
idea.
of shit. He's got a ton of shit. You can check it out.
well, you know, this film. Once I
Yeah,
got
but I
past
don't have
what-
time, man.
Once I got
I
past,
watch these two movies. I occasionally watch something else, and that's the end of it.
yeah, yeah. So like Jared, once I got past the kind of the weird cheapness of the whole thing, the bad back.
I like
Oh, the cheapness doesn't even bother me.
No, it's not the production.
That's a
was
plus.
something over- it was
The
something- once I got- once I
cheapness
got
doesn't
past
bother
that-
me.
Plus.
This
Yeah.
motherfucker's
I'm tired of
voice
seeing
No,
is what
the one
bothers
the
me.
thing is when I get past
Can't-
that, I realized
Also, it had bonus Nazis for Jim, and I didn't know about that.
It did have bonus Nazis.
Bonus Nazis.
Yeah. But anyway,
I couldn't get past this dude. This was like this dude talked about his own movie like James Franco's. This is funny. James Franco's Spring Breaker voiceover is the same as this dude's voiceover, but I liked it in Spring Breakers and hate it here.
That's
But
the
the
thing
thing is-
I find strange, Jared.
yeah. Well, anyway, once I
well,
got past the cheapness, at least
You
let
got-
the tone of it. And I think
found this movie
we had
more
This
reactions
realistic.
to the-
motherfucker's like, gotta get
I thought the
out,
narration
gotta get
tone
out.
really. That's the
Winnipeg,
one thing is
not okay.
Well, that's the
and I'm just
difference.
like,
That's
shut
the
the fuck
difference.
up, dude.
Is James Franco's character never wants to get out. He wants to live there forever.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
wants to stay.
Basic
Spring
character.
break forever.
But
Yeah.
the thing is, he's
But the
buried,
real difference is
he's
like,
a character buried deep in a
And
narrative.
talk about,
This is a
sexual
semi-documentary.
ambiguity.
It's a different kind of film. But anyway, so once I got the spell of the narration came over me, that's like, it's kind of
I
thinking
couldn't
back
get
to like
past
reading
that
beat
spell.
stuff and in college and like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
kind of tone.
you want to be
I was
Kerouac.
The one thing is, once that I was hypnotized the entire film, except the part where he goes deep into hockey, starts talking about old.
I thought
the
that
old-
was funny.
Yeah,
He
that was
really sounds Canadian.
I thought
when
he
starts
sounded a
talking
bit. He
about
sounded a bit obsessed, and it reminded me of anything of Fighting in the Time of Loneliness. That documentary.
Fighting in the age of one.
Fighting in the Age of Loneliness, because that film goes great until the end, where the guy he felt like the director had some scores to settle.
So yeah, that was the most axe grindy part of the film was the
That was-
hockey
that
and the
was very
stadium getting torn down.
Yeah,
And if he'd been talking about the real hockey team and the real people who played with it, I would have been way more interested.
He was talking
It's-
about a
it's
real hockey team.
interesting.
But that's not the hockey team he's talking about.
No,
Are you going to tell me, Ted, that these aren't the old hockey players in real life that he got? to
Wow, I
play
can't
hockey?
imagine. I can't
No,
imagine how I would say that.
I'm gonna
He
say
just got a bunch of old guys to play hockey.
Yeah, it's weird. I can't.
with cool jerseys?
Damn it!
Those pirate jerseys are awesome.
No,
All right.
but like the history of the Winnipeg Jets and the Winnipeg Monarchs before that is interesting on its own level. And if you wanted to make an interesting sports documentary about that, you could. But that's not really my problem with this movie. My problem with this movie is I didn't feel like I was on the journey with him. I was watching him going on the journey. And that's
Yeah,
a
this
different
narcissistic, self-indulgent motherfucker.
all right.
I'm not in Jared's camp on that. Like I don't necessarily agree with what he's saying there, but I'm on the same plane that he is. Like I
This is
just
the same
don't
country.
I don't feel like he earned some of the things he does in this.
He doesn't earn it. Fuck, from day one, I'm like,
You didn't watch
okay.
the rest of it, man.
Same-
Like
Yeah,
You
no,
only
it's
watched 20 minutes.
Yeah, your opinion is 1/20 of
Jim?
everybody else's opinion because you checked out early.
Jim's corner.
Hey,
Jim liked it.
Jim.
I loved it. I from the very beginning until the end, I just kept saying more.
I know,
And
right?
he kept doing it.
All right, well, this is
Yeah,
all good.
there were
Okay, I
two
guess we're
movies
going to
that
cut away the thumbs at this
Love
point.
this
Yeah.
movie.
Oh,
Love this movie.
Me
Love
too. Me
Love
too.
it.
I want to see
turn
more.
it down. I
wanna
turn it
see
off.
like
I
this.
can't.
I want
Sorry.
to see you guys. I want to see you and you make my Santa Rosa.
John's
But it
already
has to be
made his
bonkers.
I made my Sonoma already. It's called
Ah,
Crewmobile.
Come on, try it again, man. You get.
Well, that's the thing. It's
Just
like
get
I
more
no,
insane.
I wanted to talk to Johnny so
I don't
hard
have a
because
home, so I
I
can't.
was like, I thought about Crewmobile so much in
Yeah.
the little section that I watched.
No, Jim, I don't. Like
No,
and I was
no.
like, I think
it was
John's
a real
movie is funnier than this. I don't know.
Well, no,
Everybody
John.
should have a home.
However, this is Crewmobile if the Pinto did not exist.
No,
Right.
but John's movie is so
Well,
funny.
it was
I
Kurt
don't
Mobile with
know.
a $500,000 budget.
Oh,
that is
right.
one thing actually that Jared, that is one place where I will absolutely agree with you. This movie isn't funny.
I don't think it is at
I know
all.
that several
Yeah,
people
no,
I saw.
several people think that it's funny.
No, it's
But
very
I
dry.
absolutely do not think this movie is funny.
Like,
And like
even if you-
I watch a lot of Canadian comedies and like I do not think this
I
movie is
laughed so
funny.
loud I woke my
I
wife.
laughed. I laughed out loud.
I laughed. I cried.